Welcome back to my show, JC Diaz Uncensored, with your host, JC Diaz. Today's episode of JC Diaz Uncensored is brought to you by no one, just me, no sponsors. Today, I have a couple things I would like to talk to you guys about. First one will be the Michael Jordan situation that we've all seen all over the media, social media, and the news. And the other thing I would like to talk to you guys about is the DOJ requesting information about those who criticize ICE. So let's go ahead and start the show, and I'll be back after a couple minutes. And we are back. So today I want to talk to you guys about the video that has been making its way around in social media about Michael Jordan, who just won as an owner. He just won his first NASCAR 500 as an owner. And, obviously everybody was really excited. Everybody was happy. And, there is a video making its way around social media of Michael Jordan scratching the son of his driver for his team. And I'm going to play the video, right? I'll play the video for you guys, and then I will come back and we will talk about what's going on in the video. So let's go ahead, play the video, please.
Team and all of our commentary team. We'll see you from Atlanta next week with NASCAR race day next Sunday.
All right, so we are back. As you guys just watch on this video, as you guys can see, this is the son of the driver who drives for the Michael Jordan team in NASCAR. And they had just won the race. The kid is helping carry a trophy, he's holding something. And as you can see, his shirt is all wet. And to me, it doesn't look like anything, like Jordan is doing anything wrong at all. But in today's media, we are trying to always find a way to blame someone for, anything possible that we can find to blame that person. To me, it just looks like the kid had either a piece of ice on his back, in the back of his shirt. And Jordan is, as you can see it, he's trying to get the ice off the kid. And as the ice comes down his leg, Jordan scratches the kid's legs to get some of the cold from coming down his legs. And that is all I saw in this video. Now, there are people out there, accusing Jordan of being a pedophile, accusing Jordan of touching this kid inappropriately. I don't know if you guys noticed that if he was a pedophile, why would he touch this kid in front of everybody there? His father is right there. Some of his assistants are right there. There's cameras everywhere. There is people everywhere. And everywhere Jordan goes, the camera is always on him. So should he be a pedophile? Do you really believe Jordan will be doing this in public view, in front of everybody? Ask yourselves this question. Do you really believe Michael Jordan, if he was really a pedophile, he will do this in public view in front of everybody? In this country, we've gotten to the point where this cancel culture is getting worse every day. And we have to make something out of nothing. We have to find a way to cancel someone we don't like. We have to find a way to, to just make up stories in our own minds to make ourselves look good, or to think ourselves as heroes. And, we're going after a guy that year after year after year has been a really private person and has always been a well behaved person. We don't have any old news about Michael Jordan doing anything outside of his gambling things or issues that he had while he was playing in the NBA. And if he does have those issues, we really have no idea because he's a really private person. And just to think that we have to make such a big deal about Michael Jordan scratching this kid's back, and he was just trying to be polite and scratch the kid and get the ice out of the kid's shirt. Then we are making it out to be like Michael Jordan is molesting this kid in public view. I think it's ridiculous. And is is the way, but this is America. This is nothing new. This is where we are in 2026. This is where we are, and things are just getting worse. But that's my view on the Jordan thing. I believe we are making something out of nothing. We are making we're making stuff up where there's nothing. Like there's really nothing. If you watch that video, like I watched this video several times now just to double check. So before I came out here, I wouldn't just be talking for no reason without doing my research first. And I really don't see what some of these people are really seeing. Just please comment below, leave a comment about what you think is going on. If you think he's molesting the kid, if you think he's not molesting the kid, just hit like, share, and subscribe on this video so we can get this movement going. But I honestly don't see anything wrong with what Jordan did. I promise you if I saw anything wrong, I will definitely speak up about it. But I really don't see anything. What I believe we should be concentrating is in the Epstein files, that it seems like now for a couple days, people are just used to it because it's old news and nobody's talking about it anymore. I think that's what we should be worried about. But I really don't see anything wrong that Michael Jordan did. I really don't see anything wrong. And I don't believe for a second that if his driver thought that Michael Jordan would be doing something to his kid, that he will allow his kid to be there around Michael Jordan. We guys, we have to be more truthful with ourselves, and we have to, instead of just going around accusing people and making stuff up where there is nothing, let's actually focus on the things that matter, on the things that are at hand, like the Epstein files that we have forgotten about it. So I really don't see anything there. That was my take about Michael Jordan. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is I've seen on the news and I've seen on social media that the DOJ is requesting from a lot of the platforms, the social media platforms like Meta, YouTube, X, Facebook, and all that, they have been requesting a record of those who criticize the government or criticize ICE.
It's an old story. At first, they seem ridiculous. The big egos, the bad ideas. Some of them seem almost comical. Not here, the people say. Yet men like these find their following because they know how to use hate and fear. Fear of foreigners, immigrants, and minorities. Of Jews, Muslims, Christians. They dismiss the experts, demonize the press, promise they alone can deliver better lives and brighter futures. If they could only be rid of the obstacles to that power. Eventually, enough people buy it. They hand the fate of their nations over to madmen. But then suddenly, it's not so funny. The military deploys on the streets to protect the leader. Names appear on enemy lists. Opposition voices are silenced or imprisoned. The leader promises the right bloodlines will survive, and the wrong ones will be purged. It's an old story, one that could never happen here. The very idea is ridiculous, almost comical. There's no one dividing us, no one telling us who to hate, who to put in cages, no one demonizing the press, dismissing the experts, no would-be savior claiming he alone can fix our problems if only the obstacles to power are removed. No one singling out the other, telling us what should become of them. No enemy lists, no threats of imprisonment. No one lashing out when their ego is threatened, demanding absolute loyalty and using the military to control the streets. No, it can't happen. Not here. We know too well how it begins, and it's always been up to us how it ends.
They're requesting, allegedly, they have been requesting email addresses for these people, phone numbers, names, addresses, and all that. And, a lot of people are concerned because we do have our First Amendment in the Constitution, which gives us the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, freedom to assembly. And that's literally the First Amendment to the Constitution, and it is the most important one. Without that one, we are not a country. But I want to say, I am not surprised, me personally. I've known that the government has been listening to us for years, and things got really worse after the 9/11 events. After the 9/11s, as you guys know, they passed a law where they could literally listen to your conversations. So I don't know why is everybody being or getting surprised about the Trump's DOJ trying to collect evidence about people who criticize ICE. It is what it is. They can collect all the evidence they want, and as long as we are not inciting violence or inciting to anybody to get hurt, as far as the government or ICE, there's nothing they can do. We are not in North Korea. We are in the United States of America. They can request all the names they want, all the emails they want, everything, and there's nothing they can do. And if they do, you lawyer up and fight it, because we do have the First Amendment of the Constitution, which gives us the right to free speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of press. And as long as we are not inciting rioting and violence against the government, we are not guilty of anything but other than speaking our minds. Now, I know a few people that, incited rioting, but they were never punished for it. So as long as I know, we are not in North Korea, we are in the United States, and they can collect all the evidence they want. It is what it is. I've been one of the main ones that have been criticizing the way ICE was going about their business in Minneapolis. I thought that they were, not doing it the right way. They were going after U.S. citizens, and I'm saying it publicly. And it is my right. It is my First Amendment to the Constitution. I have the right to speak about it, and I'm not inciting any kind of violence. I'm sorry. I am just calling I'm calling it like it is. They were going wrong about their job, and we were just asking for them to do their job the correct way. We were just asking for them to have a probable cause to stop U.S. citizens. And if you have a probable cause, then you can have the right to stop people. But they were doing it incorrectly. They were literally just grabbing anybody who looked brown or had an accent or looked Latino, even though they were U.S. citizens. They were literally grabbing people, putting them in their cars, no due process whatsoever, and then they would release them. And some of them even went to jail. And I think that was unacceptable. And we have the right to call things the way they are. We're not inciting violence against anybody. We are just calling things the way we see it. And if Trump's DOJ wants to collect all this information, hey, have at it. This is not the first time. We are used to it. We know the government spies on their citizens. This is not the first government. This won't be the last government. It's just the reality. It's what it is. We've known for years and years and years, especially after 9/11, that the government has been spying on their citizens. We know that. We know they have all our information. You know, think about this. When you are talking to your family, if you're talking about buying a car and you open 2 minutes later your Facebook app, you get 1,000 messages about cars for sale. So they are listening. We know the platforms listen to us. And but I hope that they do the right thing, because we do have our constitution who protects us, and we have freedom of speech and we have freedom of press and all that. And as long as we are not inciting any violence, any type of violence against anybody, there's nothing they can do. We can speak our mind. We are allowed to do that in this country, as far as I know. Now, once we change our name to North Korea, then I will believe we will be in trouble. But as long as this country's name is the United States of America, the land of the free because of the brave, we should be able to speak our mind. I'll repeat it again. United States of America, the land of the free because of the brave. We have our First Amendment, which allows us to speak up against the government, against anybody. We can speak our mind as long as we are not inciting any type of violence, and as long as we are not asking anybody to do harm to anybody else. You can definitely speak your mind in this country, because there are a bunch of racist people out there. They speak their minds every day. They call people the N word all the time. They tell Latinos to go back to their country, and they are still protected under the Constitution because that's their freedom of speech. So, just the same way they are protected and they're being racist against Latinos and black people, we are protected by the First Amendment of the Constitution to express ourselves, as long as we are not causing harm to anybody and we are not inciting violence at all. So I just wanted to, talk to you guys about that. And the last thing that just came to my mind is, do you guys watch the All-Star game, the NBA All-Star game? Do you watch the ovation that President Obama and his wife received at the arena? How they had an ovation by uh, almost 20,000 people, almost a 2 minute ovation from the public. Do you guys watch? That's what happens when we have a decent human being in the White House like we used to have before. That's what happens. You are admired by the American people, by the people who have feelings and people who are nice. That's what happens when you are a good person. That's what happens. People will remember you and admire you everywhere you go. Those were the days where we used to have a great president in the White House, and we actually had, even if we wouldn't agree with the other party, the parties wouldn't agree with each other, we had a leader who was able to communicate with the people without spreading division, hate and division. Things have obviously changed. Things are not the same, and both parties have gone sideways. That's why I made the video the other day that it is time that we try to get an independent in the White House. Because both parties have gone sideways. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about this today. The first thing I wanted to talk to you about was this video of Michael Jordan, and everybody's going crazy about it like he did something wrong. I really don't see anything wrong with what he did. That's my own opinion. Please comment below if you feel any different about that. I just saw a person who was trying to help the little kid. The kid had a piece of ice or something behind in his shirt, and he was just trying to get the ice out. And when the ice or the cold water went down his legs, he just crashed his legs to try to get the water off. That's all he was doing. I really didn't see anything else. But in this country, we have to make everything, we have to make something out of nothing. That's where we are in this country in 2026. This cancel culture has become a virus, and it spreads every day. It's spreading every day, and it's getting bigger and bigger and worse and worse. The other thing I wanted to talk about was about the fact that the DOJ has requested a lot of the social media platforms for the information of those who criticize ICE or the government. And my take on that is I'm not surprised. This is nothing new. This has been going on for a while, especially since 9/11. We know that the government has our information, but those who have done nothing wrong have nothing to worry about. We have our First Amendment of the Constitution, and the First Amendment guarantees us the freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, and we can and we are allowed to speak our mind against the government if we believe they are not doing right by the people. So we have nothing to be scared about. As far as I know, the name of this country is not North Korea. It is the United States of America, land of the free because of the brave. And the last thing I talked about was the big ovation that President Obama got at the All-Star game. And this all happened because President Obama he's a decent man. He was a decent leader. Even if I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that he did, but he behaved himself as a president while he was the president. And back when he was the president, there was no this. Even if there was division, he always tried to bring the country together. This is JC Diaz Uncensored. Thank you for being on my show. I'll see you guys on the next show. Have a great weekend, everybody. A great rest of the week and a great weekend. And I'll see you guys on the next show. Take care. Peace.